Family, how y'all doing, fam? These cicadas are so loud today. I hope you hear me well. So, fam, sound like a whole machine. Goodness. So, fam, for a while I've been kind of like putting off talking about. Been wanting to make another video about Kundalini Awakening symptoms, and I've been kind of putting it off because I felt like I talked about it enough. But as we continue to go through this journey and evolve, we learn more. We get a better understanding of what we've been through. So it's good to come back to that and talk about that again. Last week I saw a snake out here, so that was a sign as well. So let me start by saying Kundalini. So what Kundalini is a Sanskrit word that means she who is coiled. It's depicted as a snake that is coiled at the base of the spine in the root chakra. And this energy can awaken in lots of different ways. There's lots of different experiences that people share, and it's going to be different for everybody. There's too many of us in this world to be having the same experience, right? You've had some people's awaken, and there's YouTubers that share it. You've had some that say theirs had, they went through the Kundalini awakening because of drug use. Drugs caused it to awaken. Trauma, yoga even, meditation, a variety of things may cause that energy to awaken. Once it awakens, it travels up the spine, through the energy centers, which are the chakras, to the crown chakra. In the crown chakra is where it triggers higher consciousness, a deeper understanding of who you are, your purpose, and your reality. I remember trying so hard to figure out what was the difference, because I remember the Kundalini symptoms that I had and had been having for over 20 years, and the spiritual awakening. And I was just trying to, a lot of the symptoms seemed the same, so I was trying to understand what's the difference, and they are very similar. In most cases, a spiritual awakening turns into a Kundalini awakening. And you can also have active Kundalini energy in your body and not awaken. And that is exactly what I now understand is what had been happening to me for so long. So, the difference. A spiritual awakening is basically like expanding consciousness. That is what a spiritual awakening is. A Kundalini awakening is awakening of the energetic body. The energetic body to function at its full capacity. So that's really the difference. It's kind of like the physical symptoms, but like they said, in most cases, you go through a spiritual awakening and that leads to a Kundalini awakening. And now I get it, and it makes a lot of sense for how this has happened to me in my life. Or at least what all of it is. I got a better understanding that when I was young, through all the years, those symptoms I was feeling was active Kundalini energy, or they call it Kundalini arousals is also what they call it, which there was nothing arousing about it, but that's what it's called. And that's what I experienced for a long time, but I had not awakened. I didn't go through an awakening. It was after the spiritual awakening, then I started to feel all of the other symptoms of the rest of the chakras being opened. In the beginning, it was just something in the base of the spine that was just driving me crazy for 20 years. I'm gonna share that, but I wanna get first into the signs that you are going through a Kundalini awakening. The birds are they going at it right now. Sounds so pretty. All right, so the first sign that you're going through a Kundalini awakening is sensations through the body that can either be very pleasant or very unpleasant. It can range from feelings of bliss and love and oneness to jolts of electricity and surges of heat and uh, just very uncomfortable sensations. I went through, sometimes I still feel waves of heat that move across my feet sometimes. What I always feel is the tingling of the third eye pressure. Like every day I feel that. Like I think about, like I'll sit there and it just feels like something's buzzing all around here. So I feel that just about every day. Aside from that, I remember going to bed at night and I don't feel the tingles like I used to, but I used to feel, oh God, it felt so nice, so nice. It's like you're just laying in bed and it'll be like before I get ready to doze off, I would feel, it almost feels like somebody's doing like this across my body. Like, and it just felt so nice and, you know, tingly and just nice, which I think I deserve to feel after 20 years of what I did feel, okay? Thank goodness, right? So a lot of the intense feelings that we get, these surges of energy, and a lot of it sometimes is due to blockages in the chakras, healing that we need to go through, past life healing, childhood healing, and ancestral, you know, like all kinds of maybe debt even that we have to pay for, you know, past lives, you know. The second sign that you are going through a Kundalini awakening is going through an ego death. And the ego doesn't die. It doesn't die. It just becomes conscious of itself. It becomes aware of itself. What's interesting is you can go through an ego death and feel like you went through it and you understand, and then later you will just suddenly have shocking moments of ego death. It just will happen randomly. And it seems to me like this happens a lot of the time when you try to go back to who you were, you know? Trying to resist the ego death is what makes it, or can make it, feel like a horrible experience. It can. Once you accept it, though, it leads you to learn and find that happiness, joy, peace, all of that cannot be found outside of you. It's an illusion to think that you can find joy, peace, and happiness outside of yourself. That's one of the things that you learn and experience with an ego death. And, you know, I've said to myself, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, but I think if everybody in the world can experience an ego death, everyone, the world will be, it'll be a much better place. Because when you don't have the ego to protect you, that's a humbling experience. That's a humbling experience. And that's what we need. A lot of people to be humbled in this world. So yes, ego death. That is the second sign that you are going through a Kundalini awakening. The third sign that you're going through a Kundalini awakening is enhanced empathic abilities as well as psychic gifts, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. The clairs are actually connected to different chakras. So naturally, as you go through an awakening and the energy goes through these chakras, it can enhance and awaken these chakras and increase those gifts. So enhanced psychic gifts, enhanced empathic abilities, those are signs that you're going through a Kundalini awakening. I think I'm gonna make another video too about the chakras. A video that I'm talking about all 7 chakras in one video instead of one for each chakra like I did before. Now, you know, understanding more about it, I think I want to make one of those videos. Would he leave me alone? Yeah. But number 4, let's go to number 4. The fourth sign that you're going through a Kundalini awakening is out-of-body experiences, lucid dreams, vivid dreams, dreams about snakes. This was very interesting to me when I realized I was going through a Kundalini Awakening. I remembered dreaming about a snake when I was a kid. Like, I remembered the dream out of nowhere. Like, I hadn't thought about this dream probably since I was a kid. I didn't even remember it. But going through an awakening, it came to me. I don't know if that's the higher self working with me or what, but I remembered a dream that I had when I was a kid where I was being chased by a snake. A lot of interesting things happened when I was a kid too. I remember getting sick and hallucinating, laughing at people that nobody else saw there but me. So, yeah, that energy can be quite active in your body, even from, being a child. So, yeah, out-of-body experiences, which I've had, lucid and vivid dreams, and dreams about snakes is the fourth sign that you're going through a Kundalini Awakening. The fifth sign that you are going through a Kundalini Awakening is being inspired to make big life-changing decisions, drastic changes sometimes. And it could feel like a disruption or just very uncomfortable at first, but these changes that you're inspired to make, they usually lead to you becoming more authentic and being your true self, tapping into your true nature. So for me, I've definitely gone through quite a few big life changes, and even this channel was a big life change. For me, it was to be able to get here and share what I'm experiencing and share what it is I know and what I've learned. That to me was a big life change, but it has led to me being more authentic and being my true self. So now let me get into my experience, because now I see it differently and I'm having different understandings of what was happening. When I was 19, 20 years old, I used to work for this talent agency. There was this talent agent who was kind of very judgmental of the girls that was there. He would always have something to say about how we were and how the type of guys we dated, our boyfriends, and how we should be this type of girl because we're not normal girls. And it was almost like a grooming type of thing. Now, one day this guy, he said that he had a spiritual advisor who was a psychic who would tell him things about girls and who's going to be successful and, stuff like that. I don't remember exactly what he said that the woman said about me. I don't remember. But it must have been something I don't like, because what I do remember is I said, F you and Miss such and such. Y'all know I'm an island girl, right? You know I'm an island girl. Can have a nasty mouth, So, I was like, F you and her. F you and Miss such and such, right? That night, fam, I go to sleep. And as I start to doze off every time, and it did it all night until about 6 in the morning. As I start dozing, energy, which didn't seem to go up the spine, it just was in the lower back, which I am now kind of understanding maybe there's blockages in the root and sacral chakra, because it didn't seem to go past that. It would just be in the lower back and it would wake me up. And at first I'm like, what the hell? But then it continued all night as I started to doze. And immediately what I thought is he told the lady I said F him and her, and she done put some kind of curse on me. Oh, Lord. That's what I went through my life thinking. But here's another way to look at it, which somebody had mentioned to me as well. Kundalini energy, this energy is very intelligent, okay? Later on, there's a lot of shady stuff that came out in regards to this guy. And once I thought that he and this woman put some kind of curse on me, I got away from him. I'm gone, right? So now I think that the energy actually was protecting me. Like it made me think that so I would get away from it. That's another way to look at it. I'm thinking, right? That's what I'm thinking it could be. But at the same time, this is what they said. Like I said, they call it Kundalini arousals, active Kundalini. It doesn't mean that you're awakening, which I didn't feel like I went through an awakening at the time. I don't feel like there was any changes in me. It was just that energy that just scared me. I wasn't aware of what it was, and it happened for 20 years, fam. Took me until 2019, 20 years to figure out what that was. I didn't know anything about Kundalini, didn't know nothing. But I now think that it possibly was protecting me, and that was the reason that it happened like that. It's another way to look at it. But that's how it went, fam. For years. It would happen 3 to 4 times a year. And it would be very intense, very uncomfortable. I used to cry and pray, and I just knew I was cursed. I knew this lady did something to me. Blaming that lady ain't do nothing to me. It was the energy, the active energy that now I'm also understanding that sometimes for many of us, what is the saying? To whom much is given, much is required. So that's what we felt as suffering for many of us with these symptoms and this energy. I think there's just a lot of healing that needs to be done for many of us. We have debt, karmic debt, past life trauma, all type of things that we may have to heal from. And that's the reason why this is so difficult and why we go through that for so long. There's a lot of it. It has a lot to do with what we have to heal from. Like I said, to whom much is given, much is required. So that's the way I see it now. There's definitely a lot of clearing that needed to happen. Now I don't have that symptom anymore. It doesn't happen anymore ever since 2019 when I went through what you would call a spiritual awakening, which is also and has turned into a Kundalini awakening, because that energy has always been there. So that's my understanding of it now. That energy was very intelligent and was actually protecting me, is what I'm thinking that was. As well as the difficulty of it had to do with the healing, the deep healing that needed to be done, past lives, childhood, you name it. That's my understanding now of what I've experienced. And who knows, I may see it a little different a few years from now. Who knows? Right, fam? But that's it. I just wanted to share this for those who are just starting, maybe some who haven't even heard me share this information. And I'll see y'all next time, fam. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped. Peace and blessings.